everything that I thought was going to happen has come true, and ISIS is committing genocide over there, and it's just not fair to the citizens of Iraq that we just abandon them over there.
Proof is in the pudding, you're saying today, Tobin. We've got it out of St. Louis. Let me get one more ready. I appreciate your call and hearing from you again. For Jens, Vermont, John.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Okay, what do you see?
Well, I was in Iraq back in 2005 and 2006 as an infantryman, and the job was always intended for us to win the hearts and the minds of the Iraqi people and to liberate them from terrorism and the insurgency. But the reality was that our occupation within that space was just creating further disruptions in their lives. I mean, they're humane too, and to go back into a country where after 10 years we had over 1 million troops go in and out and have over 5,000 die on our side, not including to the several 100,000 on theirs, I don't think it's very right, especially considering that we've all taken into account the difficulties that veterans have once they've returned home.
John, I take your point 100%, but let me ask you, and this is off Toby's view as well, ISIS has just been going hand over fist across this country. If they take even big chunks of the Kurds area, if they take Baghdad, they take the whole thing. What does that mean for the U.S.? Can we just say, okay?
Well, we have to think about our involvement and why we're actually going back into that country. Is it because of oil, or is it because they actually help the people out? If you look at the situation in Israel and Gaza right now, it's a genocide that's occurring, but yet we have not intervened in any way. When if you look at it, nothing has changed from what's happening with Israel and Gaza to what happened back in the 40s with Germany and the rest of Europe and the Jews.
John, you're starting to lose me there. I know there's all kinds of controversy about that, but I think we've got enough on our hands right here with Iraq. Michael Crowley, what I heard the president saying last night was we're going to drop food. That's happening already on that mountain where the Yazidi are, this pre-Islamic ancient sect in the northwest. We are now already bombing around Erbil. He said because there are Americans there and our consulate and troops there. He also specifically cited the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, saying we would protect Americans there as well. But he seemed to suggest that that might only happen if there's a new government in Baghdad. Am I off base, Mike?
Well, we're going to protect Americans in Baghdad no matter what, of course. And, you know, when the president looks at his options here, there's nothing, I think literally nothing, that will move him to action and use of force more quickly and certainly than protection of American lives.
But that can mean anything. I mean, you put 3 Americans in Erbil and suddenly you're defending all of Erbil. You know how big the U.S. Embassy is in Baghdad. If any Americans there, you're essentially protecting Maliki if he's in charge. You're protecting the Iraqi capital to protect those Americans.
Well, you raise a good point, Tom. That embassy is quite a fortress. I've been there, and it kind of blows you away. You are just on this enormous compound. But the reality is that you do have to protect those Americans, and you know, an evacuation would be a very complicated, elaborate, and dangerous process. Now, that said, there's no question that although we won't flatly say it, the president won't flatly say it, we want Maliki gone. And you know, it looks like the wind is blowing pretty strong in that direction. I think that the political process is ushering him out. The question is, how long does it take? He does not want to go quietly. I think he's concerned for his own physical safety. He wants an enormous security detail. He wants immunity from prosecution. And what one former senior U.S. diplomat in the country told me recently is, although he feels that it's likely that Maliki will go, he's not at all optimistic that whoever replaces Maliki is really any kind of a solution to the fundamental problems in the country. In other words, you can get Maliki out, but it's kind of the old new boss, same as the old boss situation. So even, you know, we may see headlines in the coming days saying Maliki is stepping down, someone else is coming in. Don't breathe too big a sigh of relief, because the tectonic, sectarian, religious Sunni Shiite war that's underway is still going to be burning.
Jack, I think yes, please, Diane.
No, I was going to say, I think that's the bigger question that really was not addressed last night. And how can you talk about when